Hello everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about 5 positive things and as well as 5 negative things happened in 2020. So before moving forward, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for future videos. So let's move forward. When we began listing good things that happened in the year to match the year's number, and so on, we knew the exercise would grow more challenging as the century wore on. To be honest, though, we didn't think it would get this hard, this fast. The year 2020 turned out to be a difficult one to love. Still, good things did happen. Perhaps more than usual, our list this year includes silver linings. Number 1, scientists defends well against COVID-19. A terrible plague struck humankind, but scientists responded with unprecedented speed and common purpose, cooperating across national lines to decode the virus, and then discover and manufacture vaccines that can prevent the disease. Number 2, carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide emissions are declined, in part due to the recession, yes, but also because the cost of renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind, is declining more quickly than many experts had predicted. Government policies during the COVID-19 pandemic have drastically altered patterns of energy demand around the world. Many international borders were closed and populations were confined to their homes, which reduced transport and changed consumption patterns. Here we compile government policies and activity data to estimate the decrease in CO2 emissions during forced confinements. Daily global CO2 emissions decreased by -17% by early April 2020 compared with the mean 2019 levels, just under half from changes in surface transport. At their peak, emissions in individual countries decreased by -26% on average. Number 3, SpaceX launches 2 astronauts into space for first time. Millions of Americans may remember where they were on May 30, 2020 when a rocket ship designed and built by Elon Musk's SpaceX launched 2 Americans into orbit from US soil for the first time in nearly a decade. All eyes were on NASA's Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, who were lifted from the same launch pad used to send the Apollo astronauts to the moon a half-century ago. Number 4, UK gives first COVID-19 vaccine doses. A retired British shop clerk received the first shot in the United Kingdom's COVID-19 vaccination programme December 8, the start of an unprecedented global immunisation effort intended to offer a route out of the pandemic, according to the Associated Press. Margaret Keenan, 90, was first in line at University Hospital Coventry, one of several hospitals around the country that are handling the initial phase of the UK's programme. Britain's programme is likely to produce information for other countries, including the United States, as the world prepares to vaccinate billions of people worldwide. Number 5, man finds 9.07 carat diamond. Kevin Kinnard, a 33-year-old bank branch manager from Maumelle, Arkansas, uncovered the second largest diamond ever found in the crater of Diamond State Park's 48-year history, a 9.07 carat stone. While combing the southeast portion of the diamond search area, Kinnard picked up a marble-sized crystal, but he didn't think he'd found a valuable stone. Kinnard said, "It kind of looked interesting and shiny, so I put it in my bag and kept searching. I just thought it might have been glass." The carat weighed 9.07 carats, the second largest found at the park since it became an Arkansas state park in 1972. The only larger stone found was a 16.37 carat white diamond called the Amarillo Starlight, which was discovered in 1975. Now let's move towards 5 negative things that happened in 2020. Number 1, Beirut explosion. A massive explosion shattered Beirut on August 4, 2020, compounding the ongoing political and economic crises that have gripped Lebanon throughout the past year. The blast emanated from Beirut's port, where 2,750 tons of highly explosive ammonium nitrate was being stored. At least 157 people were killed, over 6,000 injured, and hundreds of thousands were displaced. Whole neighborhoods were shattered, with estimates of more than $5 billion worth of damage. The explosion reignited anti-government protests, leading to the resignation of short-lived Prime Minister Hassan Diab's government. Number 2, coronavirus pandemic. The outbreak of coronavirus, or COVID-19, is one 2020 calamity that has caused significant human suffering and major global economic disruption. The outbreak was first identified in Wuhan, a city in China's Hubei province, in December 2019, and was recognized as a pandemic by the World Health Organization on March 11. As of March 21, more than 276,000 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in over 180 countries and territories, resulting in more than 11,400 deaths and 90,000 recoveries. The virus's fatality rate is low, around 1 to 2%, but it spreads easily, and the economic impacts beginning to be felt are likely to have long-lasting effects. Number 3, US further polarized by George Floyd killing. Massive protests swept the US in late May and early June following the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota, splitting opinion in an already deeply polarized country. While many in both the US and abroad celebrated the protests as mainly peaceful and saw them as an opportunity for much-needed police reform, critics have pointed to violence between the police and protesters, as well as some looting, as evidence that law and order had been lost. While Democrats took the knee in a gesture of solidarity with protesters, US President Donald Trump railed against left-wing group Antifa and others and reportedly wanted to send in 10,000 US troops to clear the streets. In mid-June, protesters came under a series of attacks, including a man who drove his car into a crowd in Seattle. Number 4, Pakistan airliner crash. A Pakistan International Airlines flight crashed into houses in Karachi on May 22, killing 97 people. Miraculously, 2 passengers survived the crash. Airbus has opened an investigation into the plane's strange behavior around takeoff, the latest deadly plane crash in Pakistan's long history of aviation incidents. A plane crash that killed 97 people in Pakistan was a result of human error by the pilot and air traffic control, according to an initial report into the disaster. Number 5, Australian bushfire. The 2019-2020 Australian bushfire season, known as the Black Summer, began with several serious and uncontrolled fires in June 2019, mainly in the southeast of the country. The fires, which peaked during December and January, have since been contained and extinguished. More than half of all Australians have been directly affected by the bushfire crisis, including millions whose health has been affected. As of March 9, the fires, unprecedented for Australia in terms of duration and intensity, burned an estimated 18.6 million hectares, destroyed over 5,900 buildings, and killed at least 34 people. However, smoke pollution that blanketed the country's southeast during the bushfire may have killed more than 400 people, according to the estimate published in the Medical Journal of Australia. This was the top 5 positives and negatives of the year 2020. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then subscribe to our YouTube channel for more upcoming video. See you there.